Hi, my name is Anthony Toronto. I am the Executive Director of Student Services for the Redondo Beach Unified School District. We are here today to talk with you about the first and second grade return to school and highlight some things that we know that are in mind of parents in our community. First thing we'd like to talk about is our proposed return timeline. Yesterday on December the 8th, our school board discussed the return of TK through second grade students. With this in mind, your school site principals will be sending home a letter to first and second grade families asking you to commit to either option 1 or 2 via the online form by December the 18th. Cohorts will be assigned and communicated to you on January 6th, 2021. The week of December the 14th, each school site principal will hold a Q&A with first and second grade staff. And then December 19th through January 3rd, 2021 is winter recess. On behalf of everyone, we do hope that everyone has a safe and happy holiday season. On January 4th, 2021, our board discussed and directed us to return TK and K grade students. Cohort B will start on January 4th. And then on January 5th, we will hold a Q&A with first and second grade families at 5 p.m. We'll send in a separate letter a link to this meeting. At this meeting, you will hear a little bit more about our reopening plan, as well as you will have the opportunity to ask live questions. And then on January 7th and 8th, our teachers in first and second grade will have asynchronous days of instruction so they may prepare the room for the return on January 11th of first and second grade students on campus instruction. Cohort A will start on this day. So here to share a little bit more about our learning plan, I have Dr. Susan Wilds, the Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services.
Hey, everybody. So we wanted to go over and just kind of highlight for our families the 2 learning options that you are going to be selecting in the next few weeks. The first option is our option 1. That is our hybrid in-person model. This is actually the model most of your children are currently enrolled in. At this time, all instruction is provided by your child's classroom teacher. When we reopen, we're going to be reopening in this hybrid model. Well, so students will have the option to now physically be in class and attend school in person 2 to 3 days per week. Remember, we have an alternating Monday schedule on their assigned cohort days. So your child will either be assigned in cohort A or cohort B. And our cohorts are limited to 12 students and 2 supervising adults. Now, what's important to note about this learning option that has now shifted from when we last met with you is that this learning model now includes that students who want to remain with their current teacher. However, there's some health concerns that are prohibiting a return to in-person instruction at this time. So for example, if you are a family and you want your child to continue with their current teacher on their cohort days, if your child is cohort A, then on their Tuesday and Thursday days, they would just remain at home in distance learning. This option 1 hybrid in-person model also allows us, in the event of illness, symptoms, or a contract with a confirmed case, the student would just remain home and continue to follow distance learning as they do on their non-in-person days. Distance learning, just as we've had currently, would continue on non-in-person days. On non-campus days, your child continues to follow their daily schedule. Check-ins are at the same time, their learning blocks, and so on. It's going to be a combination of some live synchronous instruction, as well as some pre-recorded instruction and asynchronous independent learning. We ask our families to please make a full year commitment so that we can have a stability in our cohorts and our classrooms. Important to note, students may only attend in person on their assigned days. So families are not going to be able to switch between cohort A and cohort B based on scheduling. Students would also have additional asynchronous learning activities to complete after lunch. After lunch dismissal may be assigned by the classroom teacher. In this model, we have traditional grading. We still continue to have dedicated tutorial and intervention blocks, and we are requiring daily attendance and participation. And also a note for our teachers is that we're going to have students in front of us as well as in home. So we ask our families to understand that When your child is at home, immediate accessibility to their classroom teacher is going to be limited because the teacher has students in front of them, maybe working with, maybe having students out at recess at that time. So it is going to be limited during your at-home time. The other option is option 2. If you are a family who does not anticipate your child coming back in person for any part of this 2020-2021 school year, then option 2 it would probably be in the best interest of your family. This is 100% virtual. Students are enrolled in a digital curriculum, schools PLP, or for our high school students, this is APEX. This is very similar to independent study, where students receive all instruction through their digital curriculum. They do have daily live meetings for attendance and social emotional lessons. The grading, however, and assessments are provided via the online platform versus the classroom teacher. Again, we are asking for a full year commitment. Elementary students receive all core classes. That's their English. English includes reading, writing, language, as well as math, science, and social studies are enrolled in schools PLP. Traditional kindergarten, transitional kindergarten, and dual immersion programs, however, are not available in option 2. So any student that is in transitional kindergarten as well as dual immersion would need to stay within option 1 and just remain at home on your in-person days. Option 2, there has been no changes to this learning model since the beginning of the year. So this is a completely unchanged option.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Wiles. And just to make sure that everybody clearly understands that if you're a family and you're in the hybrid in-person model and you are still not comfortable with sending your child to school, but you want to remain there, you do have the ability to have your child remain at home. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. But with the caveat though, the teacher is going to have students in front of them. So the amount of live interactions with the teacher will be slightly diminished because she's wearing 2 hats.
Very good. Thank you for clarifying. Next, I'd like to introduce Ms. Teresa Van Duzen. She is the Program Director for the Child Development Center. As you know, we've had students return since June 10th into our Child Development Center as they operate under different guidelines. We're here to share with you the options that are available to families in need of childcare is Ms. Van Duzen.
Hi, good morning. So what we're offering is for families that are currently enrolled and that have been enrolled since the beginning of the school year, we will be able to offer both full day care and after school care. So what that looks like is that on non-in-person days when students are not participating on the elementary school campus, they can remain with CDC from 7:30 to 4 in the afternoon. And then on days that they do participate in their elementary school, they can come to CDC after school. The price does not change. It will remain the $50 a day rate. And there is no change in instruction when it comes to the 3rd through 5th grade. They will still remain with us for 5 days a week. We do have some openings, very limited across the district. So if any family is interested in our program, I encourage them to reach out to us at CDC enrollment at rbusd.org, and we can get back to you with availability.
Thank you, Ms. Van Duzen. So the health and safety of our students, staff, and families is of the utmost importance. And so for us, here are some safety protocols I just want to quickly review. The big 3 obviously are face coverings, 6 feet physical distancing, and hand washing. And I want to mention that all of the things that we're talking about are in accordance with the California Department of Public Health and the LA County Department of Public Health. We are expected that students and staff to wear face coverings at all times on campus, whether it be waiting to enter campus, walking on campus, or in the classroom. Now, unless there's a person who is exempt, as explained in our guidelines, particularly in indoor environments and areas where physical distancing alone is not sufficient to prevent the disease transmission. But again, the big 3, face coverings, 6 feet physical distancing, and hand washing. As a district, we've been working hard since March and to this day, really making sure that we are cleaning and sanitizing all of our facilities. We're using Super 60 and PC 30 to sanitize all school areas. These are both EPA approved. Classrooms are being disinfected between student groups if scheduled on an AM/PM basis or at the end of each school day. Restrooms are clean, restocked, and disinfected at the top of each hour. All outdoor play equipment and structures are disinfected frequently, and all areas are disinfected at the end of each day. I should note you'll learn more of what's going on in your school site when it comes to outdoor areas. These are very specific to each site, and your site principal has designed recess times or break times where students will be separated and they will have certain areas in which they will be able to access during that time. Some additional protocols you will see on all of our campuses. We're really working hard to promote healthy hygiene practices and reminding individuals to stay home when ill. But we are having directional walkways are in place. So you'll see arrows going to and from. There are physical plexiglass barriers have been installed in the front offices. We have signage to ensure proper hand washing protocols. There are soap and paper towels at all sinks. Every classroom workstation has been provided with hand sanitizer, and we're cleaning and disinfecting supplies for each room. And we have closed communal water fountains, so students are encouraged to bring their own personal individual water bottles. I do recommend that you write your student's name on that water bottle. Now, before all of that, it does start at home. And so here to talk with us about what we need to do at home before we come to school is the Executive Director of Special Education, Ms. Jessica Silverling.
Hi. So thank you so much for joining us today. And just a reminder, as we do our screenings, it's important that you have these questions handy every single day. So there are 5 questions that we're asking you to ask your student or your family members before bringing your child to school. So question number 1, are there any of the following statements true? My child has tested positive for COVID-19 in the last 14 days. My child has been is being tested because of COVID-19 symptoms, and we are still awaiting test results. Question number 2, does your child live in a household with a person who has COVID-19 symptoms and is awaiting to take a COVID test, or is waiting for test results, or has a confirmed COVID diagnosis? Question 3, in the past 24 hours, has your child felt feverish or had a measured temperature greater than 100.4 degrees? Question 4, over the past 24 hours, has your child or anyone living in your household had any of the following symptoms that are not related to another condition? A fever, a new cough, vomiting, or diarrhea? Question number 5, in the past 10 days, has your child come into close contact within 6 feet for 15 minutes or more with someone who has tested positive for COVID-19? Upon answering these questions, if any of the answers to these questions are yes, you may not bring your child to school. If they are yes, please contact the front office of your school site immediately and they will give you further direction. If you answer no to all 5 questions, you can proceed to taking your child to school. At the elementary level, when you get to school, you will have a specific entry point, and at that entry point, your child's temperature will be taken as an additional measure to ensure the safety of all. So again, please make sure every morning you ask these 5 questions to ensure the health and safety of not only your child, but those that are also on the campuses at our sites.
Thank you, Ms. Silverling. And so in closing, just to kind of recap and give you an idea of the next steps, on December 9th, you will receive a letter from your site principal asking you to choose between the option 1, which is the hybrid learning model, or option 2. This is going to be via an online form. And you'll have until the 18th to let your principal know which learning model you would like for your child to be in for the rest of the school year. If you do not respond, hybrid will be the default. On January 5th, there'll be a Q&A with first and second grade families. Again, that'll be at 5 p.m. You will have the opportunity to submit questions in advance as well as live during the actual event. And then on January 7th and 8th, your teachers in first and second grade will provide asynchronous days of instruction to allow them time to prep for their room. And then on January 11th, first and second grade students will return to on-campus instruction. I know we covered a lot in a short period of time, but I want to recommend that everybody take the opportunity to go back and watch the school board meeting on December the 8th. You can find it on our district YouTube channel. In addition to, go to our reopening guide, which you can also find at www.rbusd.org, where you can learn more information regarding a reopening plan, and look for further communication from your site principal. They will be the individuals responsible for providing you with very specific information in terms of cohorting, entrance and exits, recess. So please look for further communication from them. We thank you for watching this video, and we wish you all a safe and happy return to school.